Solicitors.
Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.
Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. This week we're at the Sky Dome Arena in Coventry.
It's been a tough couple of weeks for the Coventry Blaze. We'll be finding out how their off-ice staff have been faring in stabilising the club after they've had some difficult financial situations.
We'll also be talking to head coach here at the Coventry Blaze, Paul Thompson, less than a week after he stepped down as GB coach. But first, let's see how the top two teams in the league got on Saturday. Belfast were at home to Dundee, and the Nottingham Panthers entertain our host tonight, the Coventry Blaze. Here's Chris Ellis.
Belfast outshot Dundee 13-4 in the opening session. No surprise when Walton was first to the rebound for the lead at 6:43. This resulted in the annual Belfast Giants teddy bear toss, and you can see them come raining down onto the ice. The Teddies are going to the Royal Victoria Hospital for Sick Children and the Ulster Hospital Children's Ward. So 1-0 Belfast. That became 2-0 when a tip from McBride went in. McBride now, of course, serving his notice. He's off to Ljubljana. Good luck to him, one of the best players in the league this season. So that was 2-0 Belfast at 9 minutes and 36 seconds. Back came Dundee, and somehow, just from under his skates, Zarb gets that one into the net. 2-1, 12:52 gone. Good and entertaining first session. The scoring wasn't done, though, because Pele, one time in the slot. That's 3-1, 13 minutes and 26 seconds. That was the end of the scoring in the first session. Into the second session, and from just the blue line, Reback with a power play goal. Halfway through the game, it's 4-1 to the Belfast Giants. They look to be running away with things, but no, back come. Here comes Hutchins, 4-2, jumps onto that rebound. 2-goal game, interesting times lie ahead, 5 minutes to go, just under, in the second session. And now look, this is another goal, start of the third. Conkle with that one, 43-14. There's Pele breaking away to make it 5-3 though in the third, but still, the Dundee Stars refused to fall over and to really give him the fight, because on the power play with just over a minute remaining, the final touch there from Conkle, that's their fourth goal. But the end of the scoring, final score, the Belfast Giants 5, the Dundee Stars 4. Nottingham won the opening meeting between these two sides 10-1 in the Challenge Cup, but since then it's gone in the Blazes' favour, 2 wins and a tie for them. They took the lead in the first period, Owen Fussy with the touch to David Phillips' shot, and it got better. Only 43 seconds later, McLean behind the net, out in front for Dustin Wood, neat goal. 2-0 Coventry then in the first period. And even before the 7-minute mark, there was another goal. Nottingham were defensively poor in the opening session. Another giveaway straight to Owen, a 7th of the season power play goal at 6:48. Nottingham shell-shocked, they had a mountain to climb, but Benedict started it, shoots there, tipped in by Levers. Benedict's lost a friend this week in the Nottingham Panthers lineup. Scott Champagne has left the club. In comes Sami Reinanen and maybe Sean McCaslin. There we see it coming together, and a 2+10 for checking to the head for Bakalik on Fox. Fox was down, he was a bit groggy, but he did get back up and play a big part in the game. More of that to come. But Nottingham now in the third period, still facing a 2-goal deficit. Levers shoots, and a volley from Corey Nielsen. 1-goal game then going into the closing stages. Netminder is pulled here. Face-off win Fox. Corey Nielsen for Harima, left hash marks, rebound. Who do you want? You want Beauregard. Beauregard pounces and scores his 23rd of the season. We go to penalty shots. Guthrie is denied. Beauregard has a chance to get the first penalty shot. No, glove save. So at the other end, Robert Farmer Yes, nice finish. Farmer, great on penalty shots this season. Jordan Fox, no denied. So, Owen Fussey can win it for the Blaze. Yes, he can. Coventry take 2 points and Nottingham have to settle for 1. The Nottingham Panthers 3, the Coventry Blaze 4.
Well, as we have already mentioned, and as you've probably noticed at home, we are here in Coventry and we should have been up in Bonnie, Scotland in Dundee. But the reason why we are here today is because this week it's all been about the Coventry Blaze and Paul Thompson, hasn't it, Dave?
It has indeed, and wow, did Paul Thompson's players in Coventry ever give him a pick-me-up, Anna, on Saturday night at the NIC in Nottingham. A fantastic victory for the Blaze. They led 3-0. The Panthers came back very courageously, tied it late in the game, and it would have been easy for Coventry to fold the tent, but it shows what character they've got here and what Thompson has instilled in his players that they go and win it in a shootout. A great victory.
Well, let's hope their luck continues tonight, but there's also another issue we need to talk about, and that's from our live game the other Friday, the Sheffield Steelers versus the Belfast Giants, the Aaron Clark incident. He got 6 games for. Dave, discuss. Here
we go, folks. Let's take us through it. Legui scores the winner. You can see Aaron Clark go over. 2 hands the glass. Now, 6-game suspension for this. Does Aaron Clark intend to hit Andy Carson with his stick? Of course he doesn't, Anna. But you know what? The intention is there to intimidate. He does make contact.
Certainly does that, doesn't he? Look.
Absolutely. That's a disgrace. Now, I've spoken to Andy French and to Andy Carson, and at the moment there's a lot of dumbing down this situation. But you know what? 6 games for that. That's just not right.
What did Doug Christian do to get it down to 6 games?
Well, let me tell you, Aaron Clark's watching the television right now and he's cursing you and I and he's screaming at the set. What he should be doing is going down to the local mall and buying Doug Christiansen the biggest Christmas present he can, because the lobbying Christiansen would have had to have done to get that down to 6 games. An outstanding piece of work by Christiansen.
Well, if in any other sport, it would have been either at least a season ban or a life ban.
Absolutely. He's a very lucky man, Aaron Clark. He shouldn't be playing for a long, long time. The league got this one wrong.
Well, I'll let you calm down as we've got to get some more highlights now from Saturday. Here's Chris Ellis.
No goals in the first period in the big blue tent, and Edinburgh on the power play in the second. Moving it around very nicely. Yarrelin, the league's leading goal scorer, involved, and Hamzel. And the final touch out in front is by Hartman, the player coach, attempt of the season. So 1-0 to the visitors, but 34 minutes and 48 seconds. Face-off win there from McRae, Pierce, and then Matska, and McRae in the slot, finishes off the move he started, and 3:49 in the third, ties us up at 1-1. Now, Cardiff grew stronger as the game went on. Another power play goal. Their first was Richardson shoots wide. He's about to get a second opportunity in the right circle, and this time he won't miss. So, it is now 2-1. 2 goals, 2 power play goals in less than a minute for 2-1 to Cardiff. Things were going their way, and they scored a third goal, a giveaway by the Edinburgh Caps. They were working hard in their own zone, but then they lose the puck, and jumping onto it is Jeff Pierce, goal number 18 of the season for him. So 3-1 on the backhand, and surely that's all over. Well, Edinburgh had other ideas, and they were going to fight until the very end. And this was a nice move from one end of the ring to the other. Suddenly they're coming forward left-hand side, and you see they come at pace into the offensive zone. First of all with Mackenzie. It's moved around nicely. Hansel as well involved, and Yarrelin, the man to get the final touch. 24th of the season, the league's leading goal scorer. But that was good as it got in the end for the Edinburgh fans. Final score, Cardiff 3, Capitals 2. The Sheffield Steelers have won every Elite League game at home. The Fife Flyers have yet to win on the road. The form book would suggest an easy Steelers win. Within the first few seconds, a bout of fisticuffs. Neil Clark recalled to the side by Ryan Finnerty against Matt Siddle. Clark with the early punches, more of a wrestling match. Clark then again with some rights. Siddle does break free and get some rights of his own, and that fight is over. So it was quite temperamental and fiery in the first session. Chop on the netminder there, players getting involved. Hamilton wants to have a word. You see Muir get in there, Siddle as well for the Fife Flyers. It starts to calm down, then Thomas comes in and has a say. So no goals in the first period, but just 26 seconds into session 2. Legui's pass for Ramsey in the slot, neat finish. It's 1-0 to the Sheffield Steelers, and then giveaway by Danny Stewart. Ryan Finnerty gives it to the slot, and Fulgham gets his 15th of the season. Those goals 17 seconds apart. and the Sheffield Steelers were 2 up. Power play time now. Fulgham for Trudel. Trudel pass for Ramsey. It is 3-0, and Ramsey gets his second of the night. Still more scoring action. This at the start of the third. It is a good skate from Legui, and Trudel gets his second goal in Steelers colours. But the Fife Flyers come back. Hart managed with the good skate. Shot from Wams. It's fumbled by De Caro. That's 4-1. 11 minutes and 40 into the third session. And then Hart managed beats Lee Hayward for 4-2. So 2-goal game, all to play for. Now Hamilton down the left-hand side. Just dumps it on net. Oh, it goes off De Caro's pads. It's a 1-goal game. 3 goals in 4 minutes. This certainly is going to be set for a tense finish, but the Steelers had the better of it. Ramsey's shot is tipped in by Cole King, but not without a scare for the Steelers. Sheffield 5, Fife Flyers 3.
Get the 2 points, Ryan. It looked very comfortable until the final few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we controlled most part of the game, and may have let off the gas there. We were cycling well on their end, and they came back and scored a few goals. I'm sure Johnny would have liked to have back, but at the end of the day, he's bailed us out more times than not. So we just shrugged it off and just tightened it up there for the last 2 minutes and closed it out. The lineup will stay the same tomorrow, and like I said, we'll go into Fife with obviously a better mentality, I think, than what we ended with. I think that'll be good. What they did there in the last bit will maybe make us realize that they're not a walkover team, and you just can't come up and put your sticks in. You got to show up and you got to bring it. So I think I think the boys were kind of lucky to get out of that game without any damage done, and we'll refocus and hopefully come back with another 2 points tomorrow.
So a sneaking win there for Sheffield to kickstart their weekend. Time now to take a break, but join us afterwards as Dave will be speaking to Paul Thompson about leaving the GB setup, and we've got all the rest of the action from around the league. See you in a bit.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Well, as Anna mentioned earlier, one of the reasons we're back here in Coventry is to discuss the Coventry Blazes' financial situation and their recent difficulties. Well, earlier, Anna caught up with the Blaze General Manager, James Pease.
James, it's been quite a difficult few months for the Coventry Blaze, and we know that because as an organisation you're known for being very open and honest with your fans. Why is that?
Yeah, we want to be transparent with our fans. Our fans are a big part of the club. If we don't have our fans, we have no club. We feel it's important always to kind of be honest with our fans. And as we've done of recent, we've called upon them to come out in their droves and support us.
I've got to ask, what is the current state of play with the financial situation of the club?
We've gone through a difficult patch right now. Some money that was we were waiting to come in. Some revenue that the club was expecting has not materialised. So, and our gates have been down a little bit, from last year, and obviously that's hit us quite hard. We put a team out to compete at the top, and it's important for us to get our fans back in the building really, and try and make up for that lost revenue.
So, how did all this happen? How did the club get into this situation?
Basically, it's out of our hands, this situation which occurred. There's nothing we could really do. You take something in good faith that you're going to receive the funds that were promised upon us, and with the current economic climate out there, it's also difficult for people to come to every game. So I think people are picking and choosing their games more. Obviously, that's a big knock-on effect to us.
It may be fair to say that some people on the outside might put it down to when you took on the Hull Stingrays as being one of the reasons why things have started to go wrong. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, people have made comment, that the us taking on the Stingrays has maybe been a burden on the Blaze, but I can categorically say that the clubs are run totally separately. Hull's a much lower budget team, much a low cost kind of operation there, and it's had no interference on us running the Blaze.
Now, should the Hull fans, should they be worried that a similar situation may happen there?
No, Hull's running absolutely fine. Like I say, it's a much lower cost team. We're not relying on such large sums of money to come in. The gates have been pretty consistent from last year, and it's pretty much bang on to budget.
So what's the Blazers' plan? What's the future hold for them? Is it going to be still in hockey?
Absolutely. We're making some changes within the business. We're restructuring. We want to make sure that we get our fans back in the building, make sure we sell out our, the Sky Dome, get this place rocking, and the future's bright for Coventry Blaze. We want to be the number one team. That's our aim.
Let's hope the future is bright for the Blaze. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
More highlights for you now as we move into Sunday's action. We'll start off with the Scottish Derby as the Dundee Stars took on the Braehead Clan. Our man there was Chris Ellis.
This was Dundee's fourth game since the departure of player coach Dan Seaman, and under Brent Hughes they've lost the previous three. Neat first goal from Braehead, Galbraith to McPherson, and then McPherson neat move back to Galbraith, 1-0 to the visitors at 4 minutes and 3 seconds. But the home side came back into it. Hutchins wins the face-off, feeds off, and then Hutchins gets the final touch. 51 seconds after Braehead went in front, it was 1-1 at 4:54 on the power play. Another neat move from Braehead, sweeping into the offensive zone. Kostanovic there gets his 14th goal of the season. So 2-1 at the end of the first period. Into the second session, again a nice move. Bayrak Kostanovic with the assist. What a great line that is, with Jade Galbraith at 12th of the season. 3-1 early in the second period. Then Adam Walker, breakaway one-on-one, finishes in style, a 6th goal of the season. And then Campbell down the right-hand side gets the puck here. Great awareness to see Jorgensen at the back door. That's 3 goals in 5 minutes and 5-1. Still in the second period, time for more action. Into the offensive zone come Braehead. Bayrak and Phillips are combining, and Kostanovic pounces to the rebound. That's the second goal of the game and the 15th goal of the season. There was only 1 goal in the third period. We'll see that in a moment. First of all, it's Turner against McPherson. And Turner, the Dundee man, getting the better of the punches there. Plenty of rights. McPherson not really managing to get any punches away. That was a win for Brennan Turner. I said there was only 1 goal in the third period, and Bayrak feeds Galbraith. What a move on the defenseman. That's a sweet way to complete your hat-trick. Final score, Dundee Stars 1, Braehead Clan 7. Both these sides have struggled for consistency this season, and they're not where they'd like to be in the table. Power play time for the visitors. Feed from Matska. What a blast from the blue line for Kenton Smith, a 5th goal of the season. Moments later, Tendler, face-off win here, back for Dooley. Dooley waits. Tendler drives the net. He gets the final touch. And 31 seconds after Cardiff go in front, we're tied at 1-1. Still time for more action in the opening session. Cloutier working the wall really well. Out left-hand side for Rodin, and what a pass for Osman. 1 time from the right circle. 9 seconds to go in the opening session, so it's 2-1 Stingrays. They've turned the game around. Back come Cardiff early in the second. Neat move, Matska and Smith. Final touch from Hill, top of the left circle. So 2-2, 1 minute 13 into the second session. And then we see Cardiff where they can't clear their lines. Silverthorne and Campbell combining, all sorts going on. Tendler gets the final touch. Goal number 2 of the night, 21st of the season. 3-2 Stingrays. Now we're about to see a bout of fisticuffs. They can take no more, can these tough guys? There's a big build-up. Frank from the Devils against Campbell from the Stingrays. And they both go to throw punches. Frank probably connects with one. Campbell, I think, slips. That one's all over. That really wasn't much of a fight. Anyway, Cardiff needed to get back into the game. They're a goal down. Who else but Beerbrett? He leads them from the front. McRae is given so much time in the slot. He has so many attempts to get that one away and does score. We're tied at 3-3. So, third period action still. It is power play time for the Cardiff Devils. All sorts of rebounds. And there is Frank. Gets his first goal of the season. So the Devils are ahead, 4-3. Plenty more time to come for the Cardiff Devils. And that is a nice shot from Matska. Sweet goal. That's 5-3 and game over. Final score, Cardiff 5, all 3.
Well, as you can hear, it's starting to get a little bit noisy here. It's not long to go to a face-off. But time now to talk about one of the biggest shocks to come out of an eventful period in the Elite League, and that's the news that Coventry Blaze coach Paul Thompson was leaving his position as head coach of GB. Well, Dave managed to catch up with Tom earlier to find out more.
Paul, it came as a surprise to many, your decision to leave the national team job. It was a job you clearly loved. Why? Why now?
Well, I think, I've gone out publicly and said because of our problems that we have here now, David, and, it's all hands to the pump in Coventry right now. And I felt that this is the time when you really start looking and planning, your training camps and your top 40 list, and you start withering down, you start looking at video, you start going to other games in other leagues, ringing around, finding out guys are playing abroad, and getting an idea of, what you're trying to achieve for the forthcoming World Championships. And because of the issues that we have here right now, I didn't think that I could divide my time that I have done in the past and give it the kind of the commitment that I had. I mean, I could have turned up, I could have winged it, I could have been selfish. But, I asked them players to give me everything every night, and they have done for 5 years. And that's why we've climbed as much as we have in world rankings. That's why, we're challenging for gold medals now. We're not playing relegation games like they did for 4 or 5 years previous to, us all getting involved in this in the GB program. So it was something I mentioned to my wife 3 or 4 weeks ago. I hadn't spoke to Andy Buxton and Mike Cowley about it. I'd mentioned it to them a couple of weeks ago, and I made my decision last week. I spoke to my wife on the Sunday night when I came in, and she thought I should stay with it. But I just feel that I can't give everything of what I've got for both sides right now if I keep the GB job, and it's something that. It hurts. It really does hurt, because I'm very, very proud of what we've all done.
What was the big difference in the Paul Thompson era then? Why did the GB team do so well under the Thompson guidance?
Well, I think what we did, and Ice Hockey UK, I will give them credit on this part. They let myself and Andy Buxton run it. And Andy Buxton was a big, big part of this, because I gave him the programme that I wanted and he delivered it. And then we could worry about myself and Rob Wilson, Matt Sars, Tony Hand in the past. We could worry about, getting the coaching side of things. And I'm a stickler for what I want. I mean, we play and represent the finest nation on God's earth, and I want the best that we can have. And there's a lot of people that didn't like that. I wanted doctors, I wanted physios, I wanted off-ice trainers, I wanted dietitians, I wanted the right things. And we built up this, if you like, a club. It really, some players went and some players came and in and out, but we built up this real tight unit, a group of players and backroom staff and doctors and physios, everything that's involved with that, managers, and we really did go forward with it together. And you think in world hockey we have less time than any other nation. The under 20s and under 18s have more time together than we do. So what we had to do is we had to look at what we needed to do over a very short space of time, and credit goes to the players because they've been phenomenal during my reign.
You mentioned progression and you mentioned Rob Wilson. Is it a natural progression that Rob Wilson becomes the head coach of the national team?
I don't know. It's not up to me, David. I've not been asked my views on it. I don't know. I mean, I think,
what would your views be?
Well, my views would be, continuity is a big thing. Is a big thing. Rob's not in the country, unfortunately. So, he's got to set up, if he was given the job, how does he know who's playing well? How does he know who's playing well? That goes against him. The big tick that goes for him is the continuity, and he's a very good coach and he knows what it's about. He's had a hell of a lot of experience of international level. But there's a lot of names out there that they're going to throw their name in their hat in the ring for this job. It's the best job in British hockey, without a doubt. That's what it's come to right now. And there's going to be a lot of competition, but like I say, I haven't been asked for any of my thoughts on who should be and who shouldn't be.
If they came back to you now and said, Paul, you said resign in that phone call. We thought you said you wanted to resign. We've made a mistake. We'd like you to come back. We'll try and help you with the Coventry situation. Is there a way that that could happen?
Well, they proved to me right now that obviously they wanted me out of the way. So, I know I wouldn't.
Okay. All focus now on the Coventry Blaze.
Has to be, David. Yeah. It kills me to say this. I'm so proud of what we've all done here. Everybody that's been involved. But I'm a proud man as well. I've made my decision. I haven't done it because it's, I want my name up in lights. There's nothing about that. I've done it, and I've done it at this point nice and early, so whoever comes in and has the job has enough time to prepare and get it right for the World Championships this year.
And he's going to take away some quality players who are experienced enough and almost won you a gold medal last year.
They're good players, good team, and we're that far away from getting to the top.
A very honest Paul Thompson there, probably the most honest we've seen him in a long time. Dave, You're a very good friend of his. You're close to him. Did you see this coming?
Well, I didn't see it coming 3 weeks ago, Anna, when he first mentioned it to me that he was considering his position. Tomo lives and breathes the national team job. He's a proud Brit, as we saw there in the interview, and he's done marvels with this national team. And for him to even consider it, I found it very strange. But you know what, there's so many other things going on in his life right now. When it eventually came out on Monday, it wasn't such a surprise, no.
He certainly has done an outstanding job, a very good job indeed. Well, time now to take a break, but don't go anywhere, as we've got all the action from tonight's game, where the Coventry Blaze are taking on the Edinburgh Capitals. Don't go anywhere.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Very close to face-off here in Coventry. Dave, we haven't had much chance tonight to talk about the visitors, the Edinburgh Capitals. I was there last week and they seem to be in a very different position to what they were last year.
Scott Neal's done a great job, hasn't he? I watched your piece last week with Scott. Off the ice, the Edinburgh Capitals are a different organisation. They're working hard to try and get that franchise to succeed. On the ice, they're a very different franchise as well. Week in, week out, we talk about all these North American players, not with Edinburgh, an Eastern European coach, an Eastern European set of imports, and by God have they done well. I had them nailed on 9th or 10th. Now they're definitely 7th. I think they might even challenge for 6th. A great job on the ice, a great job off the ice.
And what about tonight? Who do you fancy, Coventry or Edinburgh?
Well, the Coventry Blaze are an emotional hockey club right now. Coming off that win in Nottingham last night, I'm still going for the Coventry Blaze.
Well, let's see if Dave's going to be right. Here's Chris Ellis with the highlights of tonight's game.
Recent results have put Coventry in touch with the leaders. They'll definitely have a say in the title race, but could they still win it? And Edinburgh, well, they're looking upwards these days. Maybe a 5th place finish is within their reach. Now, Coventry outshot the visitors 15-9 in the first session, but the first goal of the night went Edinburgh's way. Great move down the ice between Heleko and Zembergs. A 1-2 all the way down the ice. They ate open the Coventry defence, and the final finish was from Zembergs. Heleko with the pass coming away from the defenceman, and Zembergs just gets his stick on it. It's 1-0 Edinburgh at 2:29. Now, Coventry may have outshot the visitors in the first session, but Edinburgh were getting some good chances. Their player coach Richard Hartman, he has a chance. Next up, Mackenzie. So Edinburgh looking for goal number 2. Now at the other end, Farmer and Guthrie combine. Woo-Sang Park just misses his shot. The defenseman put him off there. But Edinburgh certainly were looking more fluent in the opening stages, and they were rewarded with that. Goal number 2 takes a wicked deflection, and it is Zemberg's goal, a 2nd of the night and 11th of the season. But watch how the shot comes in, and it loops over. Hurst doesn't know where it is. It's 2-0. The Sky Dome is stunned, and Edinburgh are looking set for a great first period. There, another chance out in front. More chances for the Coventry Blaze. They outshot Edinburgh 40-23. Next up to have a go was Owen Fussy. Certainly Coventry, well, they were looking like they could take a stranglehold on the game and get back into it, but not at this stage. At the other end, Edinburgh coming forward. Oh, there was a chance there for Hansel, but he goes just wide. Look, coming through, the touch just wide, so close to goal number 3. First period action was good, actually. Certainly plenty going on. Now we're into the second section. Yarrelin unable there to add to his 24 goals this season, the league's leading goal scorer. Yarrelin again saved by Hirsch. So plenty going on for the Edinburgh Caps. Coventry needed something, and they got it on the power play. Boom from the blue line. Phillips and Guthrie setting up Dustin Wood, a 6th goal of the season. So 2-1 from right point. The Sky Dome celebrates. It's a 1-goal game. early in the second session. Now more power play time. This time it's a face-off win from Guthrie. And we see a lot of hard work left-hand side by the Coventry Blaze. And Wood takes it from left to right, shoots. It's another goal, and Wood has brought Coventry level. 10:28 in the second session. We're all tied at 2. And Edinburgh have let a 2-goal lead slip away. And Dustin Wood has been the man to do it, hasn't he? Now Cowley gives the puck away. Chance for Mackenzie, denied. It was end-to-end at this stage. Now we see Coventry coming forward. So they get to 2-2, and suddenly they find the strength. All sorts going on again in front of the net. Plenty of scrambling. Comes back out in front. It all seems very frantic. Who's going to get the final touch? Well, somewhere in there, Robert Farmer gets goal number 15 of the season. It's a right scramble in front of Nathan Craze. No one can get any real direction until Farmer. So 3-2 at 13:45, period 2. Coventry get better and better. Hussey gets goal number 18 of the season. Owen and Weaver with those assists. It's 4-2 then. A tip there, making it 4-2. Chances continued though. Woosang Park at one end there. He misses, but he is impeded. Falls down, doesn't he, there? So he's impeded, so it is going to be a penalty shot. Woosang Park has a chance to score. No, pad save. Disappointment on his face, you can see there. So Coventry fail to get yet another goal. Craze at the top of his game there. Coventry continued to come forward into the offensive zone. Comes Guthrie, shot just in front of the net. So, bit of afters there. Players from both sides getting involved. Robert Farmer just throwing his weight around. Coventry looking really to turn the screw now, but Edinburgh still, they're going to try and get a stranglehold back in the game for them. In fact, the Caps outshot the Blaze 8-6 in the final session and laid some chances on the net, but Coventry really were turning the screw, and it was no surprise when they scored again. Bakralik there with his 9th goal of the season. He scored goal number 5 of the night for the Coventry Blaze. That was a neat finish, and you just felt then that would certainly be enough. Nice bit of movement in front of the net there from Park. He does really strong just to get the puck. Behind the net is Crowell out in front, and that actually is Crowell's goal. You see here that Crowell is behind the net. Oh, he banks it off and into the back of the net. So 6-2 game now, and certainly Coventry, well, it's a great comeback, isn't it, by the Coventry Blaze, and now they're coming forward once more. Good finish from McLean, short-handed, the pass from Phillips, sweet finish from him, a 4th goal of the season, and that's a great comeback. Edinburgh 2, Coventry 7.
Paul, a great weekend.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, David. Anytime you can have a 4-point weekend, go into Nottingham, beat them in their own rink, and then come from 2-0 down tonight. And I'm really, really, really happy with the boys and how they played and all their performances.
There seemed to be no panic on the bench when you went 2-0 down. You regrouped, came out second period, and really just took over the game then.
I don't think you could panic if you looked at the 2 goals. We were pretty much dominating offensively at that time and getting the chances. So it was a case of just doing more of the same. And we got good net presence with Fussy tonight. He stood right on top. He was there for 3 or 4 of the goals, and we got pucks back to the point. They like to collapse their guys nice and low down into the house. So, you have to engage your point man when you do that. And we got some good, power play goals and good traffic at the net. And I was overjoyed with our game tonight.
Talk to me about Robert Farmer. He just seems to be getting better and better.
He is, isn't he? He is. He's a young guy, and we worked hard with him last year. I'm now starting to give him, more power play time. I'm putting him on the PK now as he becomes far more defensively responsible. And Player of the Month, he's just won here, voted by our fans, and totally deserved. He's going to be a big star for us, in the future.
You've got a game on Wednesday night against the Braehead Clan. If you can beat Braehead and double over Hull at Christmas, the Coventry Blaze are looking in a pretty good shape going into 2012, at least on the ice.
Well, we don't talk about ourselves, David. We'll let the other teams do that. And that's the way we've always done it here. we know we're a few points behind, the three teams above us right now. We've just got to keep winning our games. Teams are going to be playing each other, so they're going to be taking points off each other, and we've just got to focus on Wednesday. Against the Braehead Clan, we're 0-2 against them in the league, and we've played pretty okay up there, and should have got something from them games. So we have to make that happen here on Wednesday.
Coach, you had the best possible start, didn't you? But it just wasn't to be.
We are short on the bench, and after a while we got really tired, and especially the defensemen and. The lot of power to take us last game in the Cardiff, so we lost. We scored less goals than the other guys. So what am I gonna say about it?
A great start though, and you've shown all season, haven't you, that given chances, you've got the players that can put the puck in the net.
Yeah, we had more chances before. After these 2 goals, we get out of 3 or 4 chances we could score, and we can go more up. And but after that, like I said, we got tired. They get a power play, and then 2 power plays, 2 goals. There was a tie, and there was a little bit misunderstanding in our zone, and we received the third one. And after that, they was all over us, and it was hard to catch them.
2011, the back end, has been a good year for the Edinburgh Capitals. I think their fans will be very pleasantly surprised how well you've done. There's a lot more to come in 2012, you think?
I never look at it in the past. I look at it in the head. But we want to play the good hockey for the fans, so they enjoy the game, and we want to have a win. And I hope the fans will supporting us.
So a nice win there for the Blaze to lift everyone's spirits here at the club. Time now to take a break though, but don't go anywhere, as we've got one last bit of action for you, and Dave and I will be picking through this weekend's results.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports, where we've just seen the Coventry Blaze take a comfortable win over the Edinburgh Capitals, who, Dave, in the first period, the Edinburgh Capitals, I thought they'd nailed it, to be honest.
Well, they played very well, didn't they, Anna? And they scored goals. Well, that's what the Caps can do. They've got some skilled forwards. You give them some offensive chances, they're going to find the back of the net. And even though you had doubt in my prediction, we were sat next to one another. I never felt inside that Edinburgh would be able to keep it going for 60 minutes, and that's not a knock on the Caps. They've shown great tenacity all season, and they showed it again here at the Sky Dome. But Coventry are in a good run right now. They've got a little bit of confidence on the ice, and you can see that. And it took a period break. It maybe took a little bit of shouting from the coach, but when they came out in the second period, they scored those 4 unanswered goals. It was really all over at that point.
They have had a good run of late. What does this mean for the club going forward?
It means that they've got a game against Braehead, they've got 2 games against Hull coming up. They're catching the Nottingham Panthers, the Sheffield Steelers and the Belfast Giants. Are they champions? I'm not so sure. But you know what? You never write this Coventry Blaze team off. They are going to be a top 4 club without any doubt. And sometimes off-ice adversity can bring on-ice togetherness. I've seen it happen in clubs I've been involved in other clubs around the league, and I think we're seeing that happen here with the Coventry Blaze.
It makes for an exciting league though, doesn't it?
Oh, very much so, because you want those teams to be close. You don't want one team, running away with it, and you don't want to see any team in trouble. And I think, firstly, Edinburgh Capitals, we thought they were 9th or 10th. They're going to be a 6th or 7th place team. Huge kudos and credit to them. But also the Coventry Blaze as well. They're definitely a top 4 team.
Still, we're heading into a very, very busy period, the Christmas period, for all clubs up and down the league. What does this mean for the Elite League, though?
Well, I think what it means is those clubs that perhaps have a few extra pounds in the bank, a few extra players on their bench, they benefit over the Christmas period, Anna. They have that larger bench, and with so many games in such a few days, that depth of strength is very important. So I see the big guys having perhaps a bit better Christmas than the smaller ones.
Does mean, though, they don't put any Christmas weight on those, do
Never
they?
a problem.
Eat what they like.
No,
very jealous.
Only for the summer for them, yeah. For us who's running around and for the players, it's a busy time.
Well, time now for the last burst of action for you. Here's Chris Ellis with all the highlights.
Fife have improved their side in recent weeks. Of course, they've picked up Dan Seaman, and still to come, 27-year-old defenseman Tim Maxwell from Alberta, Canada. Well, back to last week's action, 1-0 there to Flyers. Siddle from the blue line, 2 minutes into the second session on the power play. And then look, Hart manages shot, rebound, Dutium, the player coach, at 6:22 second session, 2-0 to the Fife Flyers. Once again, Hartmanis was at the heart of a move, right-hand side. Shot there from Hamilton, the rebound, and Hartmanis with the final touch, deflected in though. Fourth goal of the season for him, 3-0 Fife Flyers. Ryan Finnerty called a timeout, and it worked in the short term, but he had to do it himself. Pass from Tate, Finnerty scores, 3-1. Sheffield looking menacing then, but at the other end, Dan Seaman wins the face-off. Nice movement, Hartmanis is there, gives it to the blue line just inside, and there's time for Siddle to get his second of the night. 4-1 with 17 seconds to go in period 2. Now Sheffield coming forward in the third session, but it's picked up by Hartmanis, races away from 2, glove side. Hey, it's 5-1 and the Steelers are in a hole. This is going to be surely a famous victory for the Flyers. But if there's one team that can come back from such a deficit this season, it is the Sheffield Steelers. And would they have time to do that? Cole King with the puck. There's a rebound and Fulham scores a 16th of the season. Face-off win there from Finnerty, and Burns still scores, so 5-3. Time was running out though, but we weren't halfway through the period. The Steelers had scored 2 goals in 18 seconds at that point in the third session. Tate coming forward now, and that one from Fulham timed at 47-25, so 1 goal gain. Going into the closing stages, Legree coming forward. Now the clock is ticking down. Final 3 minutes. Kept in the zone there. All sorts of rebound, and Legree ties it up at 5-5. We are going to overtime, and Sheffield are the overtime specialists. They know how to play in that extra period. We're tied at 5. Who's that? It's Mark Thomas, the overtime specialist. He scored against the Panthers, didn't he? And he's done it here. And the Steelers come back from the brink. 5-1 down. Final score, Fife Flyers 5, Sheffield 6.
Okay, so here's a look at the results from around the league. Saturday saw Belfast beat Dundee 5-4 in a thrilling game at the Odyssey Arena. Cardiff beat Edinburgh 3-2. Coventry had that confidence-boosting win against Nottingham at the NIC. And finally, Sheffield beat the Fife Flyers 5-3. Let's flip forward 24 hours, and on Sunday the game we saw here in Coventry ended 7-2. Dundee completed a difficult weekend, losing 7-1 at Braehead. Hull went down 5-3 to Cardiff, and finally the game of the weekend saw the Fife Flyers take a point as the Sheffield Steelers beat Fife 6-5 in overtime. Confirmation now of the midweek games and results, starting with that 3-1 victory for Nottingham over Braehead. And here's how the league table looks after all that action. Belfast still on top, 45 points. Sheffield and Nottingham currently tied on points, but of course the Steelers having those 4 games in hand. Coventry in 4th after that recent spell of victories. Cardiff Devils closely follow. Time for some fixtures. Always a busy period. Let's start with Boxing Day, the big one at the Motorpoint Arena. Sheffield Steelers versus the Nottingham Panthers. The Braehead Clan host the Belfast Giants, and Dundee face the Edinburgh Capitals. Big game in Cardiff, but they'll take on the Fife Flyers. Tuesday the 27th of December, already a sellout at the NIC, the return fixture, Nottingham versus Sheffield. Fife host Dundee, the big fixture up in Scotland. Edinburgh versus Cardiff, and Belfast Giants at home to the Braehead Clan. Coventry will look to keep their winning momentum going. They'll host the Hull Stingrays. Wednesday sees a reverse of that fixture, Hull versus Coventry, and finally on Thursday the Hull Stingrays take on the Nottingham Panthers.
Dave, some really tight games there, especially the one between Fife and Sheffield, and I know you nearly had heart failure. You got a little bit worried there, didn't you?
I was a tad concerned, Anna, I won't lie to you. You've got to give all the credit in the world to the Fife Flyers. 5-1 up against the Sheffield Steelers in the third period. Seemingly the game won. But what you have to remember, folks, is poor old Fife, they didn't have any import defenceman. Danny Stewart, the latest player to be missing from their lineup, and I'm sure fatigue told for them. Yes, credit the Sheffield Steelers. They came from 5-1 down to win it 6-5. Sheffield would have gone there expecting to win, though. Yes, great job, Fife Flyers. You get a point, but they'll be gutted they didn't get 2 points from 5-1 up.
I bet that was a really exciting game.
Oh
though.
God, you would have paid good money to be up there in Kirkcaldy.
Comfortable wins as well for Cardiff and for Braehead.
Yeah, the Cardiff Devils doing the job against the Hull Stingrays. Another narrow loss for Sylvan Cloutier and his team. A more comfortable win for Drew Bannister though, and the Braehead clan. You know, that first line of theirs with Kristanovic and Galbraith, it's a little bit special. They got some quality there.
Still, let's talk about going into the Christmas period, the games happening there. Busy time, Scottish derbies.
Scottish derbies by the bucket load, of course, now in this Christmas and New Year period, especially for the Dundee Stars. They're at home against Edinburgh, then they're in Fife, and it's a busy time.
Busy, yeah.
Really busy time, lots of games, but this is what we want at this period. The fans normally come out at Christmas and the New Year. Very, very important time for the Dundee Stars as well. They've changed the coach. Brent Hughes has got that job from Dan Seaman. It's important. If they're going to make a push for the playoffs, they make it over Christmas.
Very exciting time though, and great viewing as well.
Absolutely. You want to be at these games. You know, the way the scheduling's done, that most of them are local, so it's not too long a journey in your car. And this is a great time for the Elite League. I see a lot of surprise results. We've almost seen one tonight in Fife. We've seen Hull, take Cardiff very close. And I expect there to be a few results. When we come back in that Nottingham game, I expect us to be talking about a few surprises.
We shall wait and see. But we'll be bringing you as many games as possible over the Christmas period on the show. Next week, we're back next Friday, the 30th of December at 7 o'clock. So make sure you set recorders for that one. Well, that's all we've got time for today. As always, thanks from Dave and myself for watching. We both wish you a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.